I'm Lisa Farnan, and I'm actually our brain injury team lead here at Mid-America, and I have the pleasure of introducing our first speaker. Our first brain injury survivor is Patrick Farnan. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Patrick's stay here. He was involved in a motorcycle accident in October of 2012. Patrick suffered, oh, by the way, I'm not a great speaker, so I have to have it all written down in front of me, so just bear with me. Patrick suffered a lot of physical injuries, including a scapular, clavicle, rib, and a cervical spine fracture, but most devastating was his brain injury. After an extensive stay at an acute care hospital in Arkansas, Patrick came to Mid-America at about November 2nd. He was treated by members of our brain injury team here. Katie Osbaker, his physical therapist, I, Lisa, was his occupational therapist, and Sarah Behrens for speech. And Patrick was here for quite a long time, until December 11th, so a little over about 5 weeks, which is actually, in today's world of insurance, was a long stay, so we're pleased to have you that long. Now let me tell you, Patrick did not come to us a sweet, lighthearted, funny guy that you're about ready to see here. He was known to all of our staff here, and he was actually heard by a lot of our patients here. Patrick was a very frustrated guy when he first got here. He spoke a little bit loudly, needed a lot of reminders that maybe all the little old ladies here didn't like his vocabulary that much. He sat in his wheelchair maybe 60 minutes at a time, always trying to sneak out or escape, and so he had his own staff member that stayed with him 24/7. Katie, his physical therapist, is going to talk a little bit about
one of my most vivid memories of Patrick was probably the first day I treated him, when I took over the case. We came down to the gym, and our goal was sitting balance and focused attention, two things that were extremely difficult for him. Had his one-on-one staff, as Lisa mentioned, basically holding him up, sitting on the edge of the bed, edge of the mat, because even that was very difficult. And our goal for the 30-minute treatment session, 10 ball tosses. I don't know if you remember that. His wife, Dee, sat kind of off to the side, very quietly. Took 30 minutes. We got the 10 passes done, but it was ugly, right? It was ugly. A lot of rest breaks. We were walking back to the room. The 30 minutes was done. We had the ball tosses. He counted. He was like, that's it. That's all he could concentrate for. We were walking back to the room, and Dee, his wife, whispers to me, you know, he had a baseball scholarship to college, and I don't know if I can handle this. And the look of terror and fear on her face was overwhelming. She didn't know if he was going to walk or talk normally, let alone be active and as independent as he once was. But when you watch him walk up here today, and you watch him talk, and you watch him move like you and I do, you'll see how far he's come. And if you're lucky enough to interact with him, it's just evident on his family support, many of them are here, and his perseverance.
So, as you heard, it was a little challenging at first with Patrick, but all of us could see the glimpse of the man that you're about to meet. The father, the husband, the community activist, the elementary school principal, and the overall very loved man in his community. Patrick has made so much progress with the help of our excellent brain injury team here at Mid-America. And in turn, he has helped us realize why we love coming to work every day so much. We feel fortunate and lucky to have been part of your recovery, Patrick, and to meet all of your family and your friends. I'd like to introduce you. Come on up. Everyone, this is Patrick Farnan. I thought you were going to skip up.
I'm leaving skipping for Dr. Emily. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm not sure. Is that working? Everybody hear me okay? I have a good projecting voice, so I can speak without this. It's actually a little bit more uncomfortable standing up here, standing in front of the speaker. I'm so overwhelmed just to be able to be back here. This is only my third day off that I've had since October 20th when I had my accident. And my third day off, that means that I am not going to rehab or not going to recovery. There's still my own personal fitness that I'm working on and things that I'm working on, but at the same time, I'm not attending rehabilitation today. That's a joy. I can't tell you how exciting it is. It's kind of like being in the hospital. It's great to be out of the hospital. It's great to get out of rehab. It's great to go to 3 days of rehab. It's so much better. Let me start a little bit with, I am going to have to move. Let me start with, I'm an elementary school principal, and I have at Fort Osage School District, and I have 400 kids. I tell them when I was back there that I am one of the luckiest people ever, because when I got out of here and went home for Christmas, I opened up a package. That package had 400 envelopes of inspiration from kids who said, "Get well soon." And it was just because of some of those people that I'm able to stand here, and I skipped with my superintendent, who is the one taking the pictures now. He and the assistant superintendent, when I was back at one of our meetings, administrative meetings at the fort, one of the things he had promised to do when I was here was that one day we would skip. And he would not skip until I was ready to skip. So Dr. Ruddy and Dr. Enderle able to skip with me. We skipped in front of 20 administrators and back, and it was a great time. It was something that he and I had promised we'd accomplish, and he had not skipped before that. So it was a great time. The other people that are here and that I can't thank enough are two of my former teachers, a Gold Star mom, my mother, and her inspiration. She's 89 years old. She drove me down here. She drove me to Kansas City to rehab while I was there. My brother-in-law that's doing the taping here, he's been great and supportive through all of this. And then probably the person that is the most important person to me through all of this, and that's been my wife. She has endured a great amount of things in our lifetime, but none of them were quite as big as the time that I had the accident. See, my wife and I were riding motorcycles. She rides her own motorcycle. She was the first person upon me on her motorcycle after I had flipped my motorcycle and had the accident. What she saw was instinctive and loving, and something that I could not ask of anybody else more so than what she did. She saw me and she knew I needed help. She knew immediately that I needed to have my neck stabilized and I needed rescue breaths. She parked her motorcycle, got off, came over and administered those things to her loving husband, who was laying in a ditch, immobile and needing rescue breaths. For that, I tell people that she is my hero. I'll take her anywhere. I'll go anywhere with her. I'll ride anywhere with her. Because of that, that's one of the greatest things that I know from the start of the time that we were together, that we've been doing this. From that time, I couldn't tell you what happened. I don't remember the airplane ride to the hospital. I don't remember 3 weeks in Springfield. I don't remember the first time that I was here. I don't remember that first event. I don't remember, Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, my most favorite holiday, and I don't remember it. It's one of the first things that was hard with coming from a traumatic brain injury, is trying to get back memories, and getting those memories back, and making it through it. Through all this time, my wife's a nurse, but I did everything mostly, I'll say mostly because my mouth and some of the things I did were within the law or within the bounds of the hospital or of the recovery, but maybe not necessarily the best way. I was frustrated, I was emotional, and I had a traumatic brain injury, and not as an excuse, but I didn't know all the things that meant. From that time, I don't remember much until one day I woke up and I remembered. I remember especially one day when Lisa said, "So, I hear you want to walk." And I said, "Yes, I do." And then she began to tell me a little bit about walking, and I was amazed at, we teach that to 2- and 3-year-olds, and there's a lot of stuff to do when being able to learn how to take a step and walk. There's a lot of things for your brain that works on your brain. Once I was able to walk, that was just one thing that I was able to start and accomplish. The most important things that I learned from the time that I was here is how wonderful the therapists are, the staff. They are trained to do this, and your job as a patient or a supporting a patient is to let them do their job. And they know it very well. There were times that some of these people know that I could not get their names right. Went around just calling everybody Lisa, or calling everybody Jill, or calling everybody Sarah. That was just part of it, and that's part of the brain injury, and that's part of recovery. Through it all, I did what they asked to do. Sometimes not. It was at 100%, but always not liking it. There was a fight. There was some of me. I mean, I was athletic. I did have a baseball scholarship. I did play baseball. I still played co-ed baseball with my wife up until a couple of years ago. I played basketball. I played football. I ran. I used to run 5Ks. I walked. I rode a motorcycle. I was athletic, and I was able to do those things. I was able to do those things at school with my kids. And then all of a sudden, I was not able to stand on one leg and keep my balance for more than 4 seconds, kind of like that. As I graduated from, I call it graduation, from here and went to rehab in Kansas City, that went from 4 seconds to 30 seconds to 60 seconds to 90 seconds to where now it's just a matter of doing it. There's things you learn to focus in, there's things that you learn to do about all that. I remember some of the things that Sarah did for me with speech that I was like, now I really can appreciate some of the thinking that went on. The things that they know about speech and about language, it's not about enunciation or language or just about speaking. It is about thinking, problem solving, communicating, and getting those thoughts together. And all those things are things that she started with me and she continued with me and helped me to develop. And so I thank her and all the people for that. With Katie, she challenged me in every aspect with, I will never forget being able to leave this place and going somewhere else, and we had to get in a car. It was my first time in a vehicle outside of here, and we practiced getting in a vehicle and out of a vehicle. You don't know how weird it was. I mean, it is very weird to have to practice getting in and out of a vehicle. I mean, you think nothing of it. And to me, it was huge. I think I sat there and I was like, wow, and then imagine moving vehicle. Well, that was nothing compared to driving home. My wife Dee will tell you that the first time that we left and we drove home was the first time that I had reached 50 miles an hour or greater. And I was a nervous wreck. That's not usually me when I'm driving. That was totally not me in driving. But I was a nervous wreck because there was traffic coming by and there was a lot of stuff going on. And that was still part of the recovery of the brain injury and being able to see all of that, analyze it, be able to know what was important and what wasn't important. And we made it through that and made it home. And now, today on the way down, I was texting, not while driving, she was driving. I was texting and I didn't even pay attention to the traffic. Now it's not a big worry to me. I was not able to walk when I started here, so that was a big thing. I never had to worry about the strength in my chest and my arms. And when I left here and went to rehabilitation, further rehabilitation in Kansas City, that was something I had to continue to do, is work on my strength in my arms. But these people, thank you is a little thing that you can say to them, but thank you is a lot that you can say. It is good to see you, and when you think about that, think of the words. The words see you. Physically seeing someone is huge. It is huge to me now. It is huge to the people that I see because it's that important. I have one person that I have to go, and this is related here, so hold on, I'm not jumping. There's one person that I have yet to see, and I have my wife to thank for helping save my life. There was one person in Arkansas where I had my accident that I would like to set and meet. I hope that she has a wonderful life. She was a state trooper who told my wife that it didn't look good, that I probably wouldn't make it. As my wife got herself together, got back on a motorcycle, drove into Eureka Springs, then got their things together and drove with 9 other people from there to Springfield, Missouri, where I was. And that state trooper and I have a few things that we need to discuss. One is that is never a thing that you ever want to tell a person first, but why would you do something like that? That's the second thing I want to say to her, is why would you do something like that? I mean, there's enough pressure on this person already. Why add to that? But my wife, she endured. She just is that way. She's managed to make it through all of my tantrums and my fits that I've managed to throw and be upset with, about not being able to walk, about not being able to think, about not being able to ride a motorcycle. I've since ridden a motorcycle. About not being able to drive, about not being able to have balance, about not having the strength, about peeing yourself, about having to change your clothes because they're dirty. All those things, she's made it through with me. And these people have too. And their part is huge. It's immense. Just the amount of time that they spend. I told them before I left that they reminded me of teachers. And remember, my mom is a teacher for 38 years, and still I have 2 retired teachers here that worked for me. My superintendent is here. My brother-in-law is a teacher. So it's in the family. It's in the blood. And these people remind me of teachers. Not in what their instruction is, but their memory and how they work with the relationship. That relationship is huge. They get to know Patrick. They get to know Lisa. They get to know who you are, what inspires you, what drives you, what things motivate you, and those are the things that they remember just when they see you 2 or 3 different times in a week. And they remember it the next week. That is important because when you see them with a brain injury, you may not remember their name, you remember what they look like, but at the same time, it's those things that they bring back and they say to you. Well, we did this last week. There were many times that Katie would say, you remember doing this? And I was like, no. Because I didn't. I didn't remember doing those things. And that's been the blessing about all of this, is that through it all, I've learned so much. I've learned so much about the people around me. I've learned so much about care, so much about myself, and so much about outer things, the things that we can do. And I was laying here one night and going to bed, and brain injury survivors have trouble with sleeping. I would get up, didn't sleep through the whole night. But as I was laying down to bed, I was, to my God, I was saying thanks. Thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for everything that you've done for me to this time. And then I thought, I need to tell my mom thanks. And then as I said that, I was thinking, wow, my mom's prayer chain. And I'm thinking, wow, that's probably 50 people. And then, oh yeah, then there's the community, and then there's the church, and then there's the community of Weston, which is 1,600 people, and that's gone out into the town, and through my wife's friends, and through my family's friends, and then in my school, and through the teachers that I know there, and then the school in the town of Buckner, and I'm thinking, wow, that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, wow. And I still get goosebumps today, thinking there are 4,000 people out there saying a little prayer for you that you get better. And that made me feel wonderful. These people do everything possible to help you. And it's that relationship that turns you to look to your family, your friends, everyone that's around you and that loves you. Because of them, I'm able to walk up here and talk to this day. There are many things that could drive me not being in here. This battlefield cross is because my wife and I lost our 22-year-old son in the war in Iraq in '05. Our daughter married a guy in the Army. They lost their son, our grandson, when he was 2 years old in Germany. I've been through some things in my life. This one was one of the things that was it was traumatic brain injury. It was one of the things that challenged me more than as much as those things. In relationship, they're very, very similar because of the challenges, personal challenges, and social challenges that are out there with them. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you all very much.
This is probably one of 6, 7, 8 callers that Patrick Orwell would
I used to rip this off, but when I was in Springfield, there's the plastic one that I destroyed. I was always trying to take this off. It was because you don't realize how much you itch your neck or touch your neck until you have one of these on. And when you wear them 24/7, oh God. It's a nightmare. I mean, it really is a nightmare. And one of the times I remember very vividly is that Dee said, I ripped it off, and she goes, don't tear it up. And I was She goes, I just got a bill for 6 of them from Springfield. I was like, whoa, how much were they, you know? And so knowing that, this is one of the only things, as I told the ladies here, this is one of the only things that I kept besides the memories and of being in rehab. This right here, because it brings back a lot of those things. And I want to remember when I get on that motorcycle again, a little air can end up rather severely. So thank you all very much.